Yo, what's going on, everybody? Nicholas Perstockis, Chalobah channel. Hope you all are well today. I'm doing splendid. But Chelsea versus Wolves preview, and it's an interesting one. Of course, I'm doing this after the press conference that Enzo Maresca just held, and he seemed a little interesting with the media. I mean, he told them that there's been injuries. Palmer, Enzo, Lavia, and I think there was one other player. All were not included in training for that day. Obviously, they have 2 more sessions until the game on Monday, so we'll see what exactly they will pick. I have a feeling that at least 2 of those players, in Palmer and Enzo, will be included in the lineup. He might be over-exaggerating it. I really don't think that those 2 players will not be in the lineup on Monday. But if they aren't, we have to draft. Hopefully he'll make changes that improve the way the team plays. But that's just a thought process. And he also said that we lack clinicalness, and that would have saved us in moments in this 5-game stretch. And that I thought was crazy. He's basically begging the higher-ups to make a move. And they simply aren't doing it. And this was his way, I think, of calling them out. I think this was his way of calling them out, and no better time to do it than a game. I mean, you haven't won 5 in a row. You've lacked clinicalness. You just judged 2 games. You took insane amounts of shots, and you didn't find the back of the net enough. 26 shots in the last one, and we're not finding the back of the net is not good enough. So I think this is definitely a good call out by Enzo Maresca. I'm happy that he does it. If he doesn't do it at all, then they're not gonna catch any hints. We'll see what the higher ups think about him saying it, but that's for that time period. But this is a game where Wolves, of course, then have sacked Gary O'Neill. I think they have João Pereira, I think, as now their head coach. So they asked him, is there going to be a difference between your 6-2 compared to now? And yes, I fully agree with him. There will be a difference. Of course, they did sign a center back, Wolves. How much he'll make a difference compared to what they have right now, we'll see. But it shouldn't be a cakewalk. We've been way more poor at home than we have been away this season. So we need to get a home win. The crowds, the supporters deserve it. Everybody deserves it. The players, to an extent, deserve it. But we got to see what we get out of them. Let's get into these lineups. So this is the lineup I've gone with. Jorgensen net with Cucurella, Colwill, Trevoh Chalobah, Reece James, Enzo Fernandez, Moise Caicedo, João Felix, Cole Palmer, Jadon Sancho, and Nicholas Jackson up top. So starting from the back, I've got Jorgensen in net for the main reason being it seems like he's trying to rotate the goalies a little bit. And I think of course, he didn't look too good in the Morecambe game, but because there's not really a cup game until the next FA Cup match against Brighton, it almost seems like he will get either this game against Wolves or the game against City. Now, which one I prefer him playing in? Up for you guys to really take a thought to yourself and think which goalie is better against City. I don't think it matters which one we choose, but I have him here against Wolves. I think he should do pretty damn good against Wolves. Of course, they're a bottom feeder in this league, but it doesn't matter at this point whether you're a bottom feeder or not. You can still beat Chelsea. Cucurella on the left. Of course, nobody is really there to take his position at this point. Renato Vega is going to go on loan anytime now. Of course, he's not a permanent deal, but he will, I think, be a guy. Sadly, I wish we could keep Renato Vega around, but Cucurella is the top left back in this team for a reason. Colwill sits alongside Chalobah. Now, in the presser, he did talk about how Colwill is injured, but not he's doubtful. They're not sure if he's really out. So we'll have to see if that is something that sticks around. If Colwill does go out, though, I think we might see someone like Tosin come in, or maybe Josh plays again. But I have him next to Chalobah. And I have Chalobah starting right away because of all the problems we've had at center back. And Chalobah's been playing in the Premier League. And he knows he knows Cobham like the back of his hand. He knows everything here. He's not sitting here dilly-dallying. This guy can play right away. It doesn't matter whether he's in a Palace jersey or a Chelsea jersey. So I see no problem as to why Trevoh cannot play. And he also stated in the press conference something that I thought was hilarious. They thought he was banned at a team training. They thought this guy was banned at team training. Enzo Maresca proved that the sources were wrong, if it's true. He said that he was training the main team until they went on the preseason tour, which was something that we were told was not at all happening. So I found that entirely intriguing. He was part of his plans until he was banished, basically. He probably wanted to go on the tour with them. So I feel bad for him in a way. So Chalobah comes back in the mix. I'm really, really hoping that he does get this start, especially after Maresca said he can definitely come back in the mix immediately. Reece James, I have it right back. Now, with Reece's situation, he talked about in the press conference as well, they don't want to force another injury on him. They want to kind of limit his minutes. Man, oh man. It seems more and more likely, especially after hearing all that, Malo might start on right back, or Achempong might start at right back. I think it's more and more likely that happens. If Reece does play, it may seem more like he might play the first half. But I honestly might rather see Reece come off the bench again than I would rather see him start, if that is the case. So we'll have to see what happens with Reece, but I have him starting because he's just the best right back in our team, and it's not even close. Fernandez and Caicedo, of course, Enzo, another guy who was linked to being doubtful for the game, but I have a feeling he'll play. Lavia, of course, is the other player who is doubtful, so if either one of those two guys don't play, then who plays in the midfield alongside Caicedo? Like, if we're being full-on serious, who is that center mid who plays alongside Caicedo? Like, does Lavia... No, not Lavia. Does Vega come back in the mix? Like, who is the guy that plays alongside him? Roxaki? Like, are we serious? Like, this is why we needed more depth. This is why we needed it, and it's not here right now. So, hopefully Enzo's here. Caicedo, though, of course, he stays in here because he's absolutely an amazing player. And the fact alone is I don't want him playing right back, especially when Reece James is healthy. If Reece is fit, then Caicedo stays in the midfield. It's that simple. Then, we've got João Felix. I have him on the left. Now, if Palmer is out, João Felix goes in the middle. I could also see a way that we play Felix at striker and Nkunku and Cam, have Felix be more of a false nine. There's a chance I could see that as well. Not sure if I'd like it, especially since both of those guys are so bad at pressing. I think it lets off the press so much that it might be a negative. But for that reason alone, I have him on the left. I think we needed more creativity in the Bournemouth game. And when João Felix was on the field, I think he was great. So he goes on the left. Palmer to the middle, of course. If he's healthy, he's the best player in the field, so he stays in. Jadon Sancho on the right, he was not bad in the game against Bournemouth, but he wasn't getting enough opportunities, and for that reason alone, I'm sticking him on the right, because I think if he was the guy on the right, we would have created even more opportunities and even more scoring chances, and I think that's why I switched them. I had exactly this front four in the last game, and I didn't want to switch it, because I didn't think there was any reason to. I think this was the best lineup we could have played, and that's why I'm sticking with it. Nicholas Jackson stays up top for the reason being that I don't yet trust fully Mark Guiu, but I'm not saying that I totally keep him out of this game. If Nico Jackson is struggling 60 minutes in and can't score, Mark Guiu can get the last 30 minutes, dude. Because at this point, I've came to the conclusion over the last 5 games. Nico Jackson's finishing is so poor, and especially over this stretch, that any difference might be the better. So for that reason alone, I have Jackson still in, especially because of his press, his hold up, and almost everything that's not a finishing. Almost everything. So Nico Jackson stays up top for that reason alone. Of course, on the bench, you will have mainly the same players. I think there's a really good shot, like guys like Neto might play against Wolves again as a starter. Madueke, I think, will be on the bench. Guys like João Felix, I bet you will not start in this one unless there's those injuries. I bet you this might happen. If there is injuries to players like Enzo and he's out, I bet you Maresca will play a 4-1-4-1 and have basically Caicedo by himself alongside someone like Cucurella. I bet you that's what happened. Someone like João Felix might come in alongside of Palmer as a cam. And I think I'd actually be fine with it. It's just that the defense is going to be so struggling for help unless, because Caicedo will be by himself. So he'll be in a no man's land at times. So we'll have to see how that goes. 4-1-4-1s are super dangerous attacking formations, but defensively they're so relevant to danger. But however, we will have to see what happens. Let me know what you guys think. Of course, like and subscribe to the video. It helps me out so much. But comment down below. Let me know your lineups and what you guys think, as this is a game where if we don't win this one, serious questions are seriously going to be going Enzo Maresca's way, because there ain't no way in hell we should be losing to this Wolves team. Of course, last season we lost both games to it. We beat them 6-2 earlier in the season. It's got to be a similar result. Not a 6-2 win. I'll take any win at this point, but it's got to be a win. It's got to be 3 points, and that's really all I can accept without getting furious. So let me know what you guys think, though. See you guys in the next one. Peace.